Hi there, Andrew from Lightworks Photography here again. I've noticed over the last couple of years an increasing number of couples asking me to photograph the gentlemen getting ready in the morning as well as the ladies. And if you hadn't thought of doing that, I actually think it's a really, really good idea. The funny thing about it, I always find, is that the gents are always a lot more reticent about having another bloke there photographing them getting ready than the ladies are for some reason, which is really strange. I don't know. I think most in my experience, most of female wedding guests, so it tends to be bridesmaids and the bride, are generally quite sort of happy for me to photograph them while they're having their hair and makeup done and they're chatting and drinking champagne and this sort of thing. And it's certainly from my point of view feels like a completely natural thing to do because I've done it so often, and it's, I do it in a very low key, unobtrusive and very sort of natural way, I think. So me being there hopefully isn't too intrusive. In my experience, the gents are always, well, what are we supposed to be doing? I don't quite know what's happening and this sort of thing. And they've often been sort of slightly coerced by the bride into having their pictures taken, which is quite funny. But what often works really well is if I can arrive for the gents at a sort of critical time when there may be just sort of shirts going on, ties are being done up, cufflinks, buttonholes, that sort of thing, and that maybe only takes something like 10 or 15 minutes of photographs just to get some nice record shots. It's very low key, very easy to do. The guys are sort of doing something, which is always good. Filling hip flasks is quite good. I did that fairly recently as well. So it's well worth thinking about. I think a lot of brides like to see what their groom was doing while they were getting ready, and vice versa. It's really nice for the groom to see what the bride and the bridesmaids were all up to, sort of, in the hour or so before the wedding. So I think it completes the story if you have both parties rather than just the bride, which seems to be what was happening certainly 5-6 years ago anyway. So give it some thought. If you hadn't considered it, having the gents photographed getting ready can be fantastic and just sort of completes the story. The other option, of course, is that the gents are in the pub and they get photographed there, having a couple of last-minute beers for a bit of Dutch courage and having a natter, which works quite well as well. I'm always very happy to do that. The only thing that needs real consideration from my point of view is just logistics and timing. Ideally, what will happen, and I'm very happy to travel, and if I need to move around, obviously, is so I can arrive with the bride and photograph her sort of earlier preps in terms of having hair and makeup and bridesmaids getting ready and champagne and all of this sort of thing. Then scoot off and hopefully photograph the boys doing buttonholes and ties and last minute bits and pieces like that, or going for a pint in the pub. And then come back just as the bride is doing the last minute things, getting into her dress, having the photographs of the dress perhaps being fastened, or last minute touch-ups of makeup and veil going on and things like that. And then usually it's out again to meet the boys at the venue, and then meeting and greeting the guests arriving, and then the bride arrives just before the ceremony. So it actually can work. It tends to work very, very, very easily logistically. It just needs a little bit of pre-planning and discussion. So hopefully that's given you a bit of an idea. If you hadn't thought about having the gents' preparations photographed, I suggest you go for it. I would love to do it for you if I'm going to be your photographer, but if not, ask your photographer and give it some consideration. Okay, hope that was helpful. Bye-bye.